says you can enjoy success today, and that is the title of his new book, Enjoy Success Today, How to Start and Build a Thriving Business and Still Have a Life. Jared James, welcome to the program.
Change the focus. How can I give you business? How can I give you business? When I was in high school, I sold shoes, okay? And people came in and they bought shoes just because I was selling the shoes. They, they were $30, $40, $50, and hey, I needed shoes. I go to Jared, he's my friend, whatever. People bought them. When I was in college, I sold knives. People bought knives just because I was in the knife business. Does anybody buy houses just because you're selling houses? Anybody? Does anybody say, you know what, you're a friend of mine, I'm gonna go spend $400,000. That's a keeper, okay? For the most part, you're going to need to be able to market to the general public. Can we all agree on that? You know, at some point you'll have past customers and a sphere of influence and all those kinds of things, and we'll go over those. But for the most part, you better have a general public that you're marketing to, and they better know what it is that you're marketing. And if it's just houses, you're in trouble, because everybody sells houses, right? What is it that distinguishes you? What is it that makes you different?
Awesome. I mean, I'm very glad that, the MLS had him come and talk to us. He's truly an inspiration. It's amazing what he's done, in 5 years. I'm glad I was able to come today and hear him.
I tell you, it was great. It was very inspiring to me.
Oh, I found Jared to be a very enthusiastic speaker who was very knowledgeable, and I found his talk to be very informative and really provided me with a lot of great ideas and techniques, and I'm going to buy the book.
I find that people tend to receive things better, and they tend to receive the points that you're giving them to show them how to either grow their businesses, grow their entrepreneurial spirit, how to kind of balance their lives. I tend that they find the points that I give them, and they receive them much better when you get them to laugh. 3 most stressful things in life: death, divorce, and moving. So on a regular basis, you are meeting with people when they are almost at their most stressful time in their life. And what you're trying to do with systems is you're trying to make them feel comfortable. Have you ever met with somebody and you're up against another agent and you're talking to them and they say, God, you made me feel so good, so confident, I feel so comfortable, I'm going to go with the other guy. Does that happen? No. They're at a stressful point. So you have to understand that you're dealing with people at one of their most stressful times. And many times you're dealing with people at, one of their even more most stressful times, which is divorce and moving. And if it's a real bad divorce, you just might get all 3, death, divorce, and moving. I want you to walk over to somebody less attractive than you and say hello. No, I'm just kidding. We went into a restaurant. This was in the USA. And it was struggling. They had great food, all this kind of stuff. The reviews were great, but they were just really struggling. And they were trying to figure out, what is it that we're doing? What can we do to turn this around? So they brought in this friend of mine, and they said, look, we're going to pay you. We want you to use your techniques, make this work. And here's what he did. And this applies to you as well. He decided to take 10 people that work at the restaurant. There was 10 people. And he said, out of you 10 people, what we're going to do is each one of you are going to learn 10 names of clients that come into this restaurant. Okay, so the cook learns 10 names, the waiter learns 10 names, the hostess learns 10 names, everybody learns 10 names. By the end, you've learned 100 names, right? When Joe Schmo walked in the door, okay, if Joe Schmo was the chef's guy, the chef would yell out, because they had kind of an open cooking area, he'd yell out, Joe Schmo, how you doing? Okay, and Joe Schmo would react, and he'd say, oh, I'm doing good. He's not used to this kind of reaction. And the waitress, when she heard, the chef yell out, hey, Joe Schmo, she heard the name, and she said, Joe Schmo, how's it going? We haven't seen you in a couple days. And everybody started doing this. And you know what happened? He started coming back a lot, right? And what he did was he started going home, and he started talking to his kids and his wife, and in his head he was thinking, I know you guys don't think too much of me, but there's a restaurant that I'm going to bring you to. They think I'm pretty cool. So he started bringing people there. And when he started bringing people there, they started learning their names. And this started happening. And he started having his business meetings. Don't we all like to, if we have a business lunch or something, don't we like going to the place where we know the owner? Or you walk in and, hey, Jared, how you doing? Don't we like that? Doesn't that kind of give us credibility? So they started doing this. Do you know within 6 months, their profits actually quadrupled? Okay, just based on this one principle. They didn't change the menu. They didn't change anything. The only thing they did was they started treating the people differently. If you want your business to succeed, make it your goal to make every business around you succeed. And I'll tell you how it works, okay? when I first started, I had, had the talk with people, and I sat them down, and I said, here's, we're going to have lunch and whatever, and here's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to network with somebody, and I talked about my reciprocal relationship and how I want to use somebody who's committed to me and I'm committed to them. And I went through the whole thing to make sure I wasn't wasting my time. You ever given out leads to a mortgage broker and then they buy a house through someone else? You ever done that? How annoying is that, okay? I was not going to let that happen to me. So I sat down with these people, and in my head I made a goal. And I said, okay, a few of these people actually still worked part-time jobs, on top of what they were doing, whether it was mortgages or, whatever it may be, whatever, insurance, whatever. They were waitressing on the side, or they're doing whatever. And I said, okay, I'm going to take the focus off of me. My sole goal is to take these people and make them full-time. I'm going to give them so much business that they are going to go full-time. And here's how it works. Depending on the studies you look at, depending on who you listen to, some are high, some are low, but here's what they say. They say that within any given real estate transaction, there is somewhere between 20 and 60 referral opportunities. 20 and 60, okay? That's a lot of different people you can give leads to. How many people in this room look for 30 people to give leads to on every deal? Anybody? Okay. So you start actively looking for these people, and you say, okay, let's start breaking it down. What different parts of the business can I start to refer to? Do you realize that if you did 20 deals last year, and on every single deal, you gave out 25 referrals, you at the end of the year gave out 500 referrals, okay? Now, whether they ever closed that business or not does not matter. All that matters is you gave them the business. It's their job to do it. And what is natural human nature when you give someone business? What's the human nature? They're going to reciprocate, correct? So if you gave out 500 leads and 10% of those people reciprocated with just one, anybody good at math? 500, 10%? That's 50 different leads that you would have gotten. That's a good year for most people. Love what you do. You hear it all the time, but it couldn't be more true. Guys, I absolutely love what I do, okay? If it wasn't for the fact that, again, I have 2 kids that I adore, a wife that I adore, and love to go home, I could work 24 hours a day because it doesn't feel like work to me, okay? And luckily, we're in a room right now. Sometimes I talk to entrepreneurs and I talk to different business people, and the people, they're just dead on their face. They are just, they hate it. They got a day out of the office to come hear you speak, and they're happy, okay? Realtors, for the most part, are a different bunch. You chose to be here. Did anybody, when you were a kid, and what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a realtor. Did anybody say that? I don't think anybody said that. But the point is, when you got older, you chose to choose that career path. Okay? So for the most part, I'm not talking to people that hate what they do. But do you know? I heard this recently in a meeting I was in, and I loved it. Do you know what the deadliest hour in America is? This is the hour when the most people die in America. It is Monday at 9 a.m. People would rather die than go to work on Monday morning.
I'm glad I was able to come today and hear him.
I am a top producer. A lot of what he said really hit home and reinforcing what I'm really working at developing.
I think he was great. It's a lot of good day-to-day information that you could use. We all go out and think that we want people to like us, but then you really don't really ask the question when you're meeting somebody and talking about it. So I walked away with that a lot because I pay attention a lot to that, because I know that if I like somebody, I'm going to remember them and use them more than obviously if you don't like them.
I think he's fantastic. I think he's enthusiastic, and it's contagious.
So you know what? Yeah, I've heard that before, but it's good because right now, I'm going to do it.